So my biggest thing was that, like I said before, coming from that and having the mentality of like accomplishing something and feeling good about it. I had a job, right? I had a job, and like with certain networks and stuff like that, I was able to get this job in Norwalk. But it just wasn't it. I'm sitting at a desk. I promise y'all, I got hired. I did less than an hour. I don't think y'all not listening to me. Less than an hour. I got into the job, suit, tie, everything, right? I sat down.
Living the American dream.
Yo, I sat down.
That shit hurts.
I said, this is not it.
That shit hurts.
I got up.
I
got up, and he was calling me. I was supposed to drive up with my partner in the office to, like, I don't know, like somewhere.
They looking for Ross right now.
Somewhere. We were supposed to go somewhere. Man, I said, I said, yo, it's over. I said, it's over.
I can't move the way I used to. Had to call the audible. I put in the work, no humble flex. And talk of the town, you see who next. They on checkers, I'm on chess. Had to hit him with the X. Xenhouse.
This is the Xenhouse podcast. We're here for episode 40. We here,
40
boy.
Club, top notch.
Hey, come on.
Yo, come on, yo.
I still remember the first one.
Yeah,
we come a long way.
Top. We at the top now.
At the top, yo.
We
40.
Up there. We got to do something for the 50th, but we're gonna talk.
Oh yeah, we got some time. This your boy Xenhouse.
Your boy A. Joe.
Ross B.
Okay.
That wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad. He's getting better.
He's coming back.
Flowing.
Come on back to the dark side.
All right.
That boy's acting real light skinned.
All right.
Today, y'all, we talking about transitioning from the sporting world to the real world and how it kind of affected each of us emotionally, mentally, all that. So,
yeah.
Ross, how was it transitioning from the collegiate level into now?
Man, so I think probably for my whole life, sports has always played a major role in me just like being outside. That's how I created some of my best friends was through sports. It was what gave me a lot of opportunities, and a lot of my accomplishments happened because of football. I mean, I played other sports too, but like that's what led the way for me. So I still remember, right? Like I remember when we were in at University at Albany. Obviously, like when you graduate from middle school, you're like, all right, like I go into high school. Then after high school, you're like, all right, I'm gonna go play football, at D1 or whatever, wherever. But after that, the last game, I think we spoke to a few coaches from the NFL, but it wasn't like major interest where you're going to go to the combine, like it's going to be a tough road. So I still remember the last game. Mind you, I finished my college career on a pick, by the way.
Impressive. Crazy.
Right? And I remember seeing every senior class, right, from my freshman year, from my sophomore year, and my junior year, always just like having the look in their eyes, right, for the whole week, knowing that this is going to be their last one. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to be good, right? I ain't going to be emotional. Man, that week came, I had the butterflies in my stomach was 10 times worse than before our pre-games. And I just remember being like, damn, yo, this could be it.
Yep.
And when it was all said and done, I did one more semester at Albany where I didn't play football. And
was it the spring semester or was it the next fall?
It was fall because I played my first year, but the program that I was in for my BA, I needed one more semester. Instead of doing a summer, I was just like, I'm gonna do it when everyone is there, so I'm not like a loser during the summer.
Loser, everybody.
Everyone that's there, nobody's there, yo.
That summer's
like this,
real.
dragging. you feel like a loser.
Yeah.
So
Campers
like
got weeds going across.
you know what I mean? And at least like when you're there with the team, you got something to do. I was gonna be there taking classes. So like I remember just kind of like going into that semester and not being able to, go to 6 a.m. and waking up at like 8 a.m. and my body was hurting, but not from pain from sports, but pain from sleeping too much, right? Then that's just like an extra like 2-3 hours we're talking about because we're usually up by 5. So then that hit me. Then seeing like all my boys, because I live with all football players, seeing all my boys getting up and going, and I'll be in the kitchen like, damn.
Dang, I think you made it more. You made it sad, not on your own, but it made it more sad that you're around it, but you're not in it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That made it
like
worse.
that's when it
1,000
started
times
hitting
worse,
me
yeah.
because I'm like, damn, I have no more practice. I have no more early morning wake ups. Now my boys are leaving me because they are so everybody in my grade besides another old lineman redshirted. Everybody besides me and him. So like we were a part of
That class,
the
that was
other
playing,
class. So now him and I weren't like very close, and he lived off campus, so I couldn't even really, hang out with him. But that happened. Then they would be coming back and then talking about practice, and I'm like the clown and the group
Missing
being
out
like,
on all that. You're
what's
the
going on.
outsider.
right? Yeah. So, I just felt left out, right? I felt like I was like out of the game a little bit, and then one of my coaches, I used to actually shape Buddy up. This ain't no Alex shape up. We used to call it JNR cuts. Shout out to my boy Jono, and I used to cut him up and line him up, and I remember him coming up to me right before preseason and being like, "Yo, Ross, you should really come down and like coach some of the boys, like come help the team a little bit. Like you used to do it during practice anyway." And I looked at him and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna think about it. But the more that I thought about it, I didn't. It wasn't like I was trying to be selfish, but I didn't want to be. I didn't want to go down there and take away from the other guys. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I didn't feel like it was my place at the time to coach them. Like I felt like they needed their own identity to kind of go through what I went through. But now that I think about it, I could have probably been a major help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But once it was all said and done and I graduated and I came home, boy, mentally it was like, it wasn't it. It wasn't it.
Not easy.
It was not easy at all. Like, you gotta find a job. I'm with Yoli every day. I'm around you fools every day. But it was like there was nothing that could ever replace me playing football. So like once I got all the pains and all the injuries out of my system, it was just like
That shit ain't gone.
Yeah. No, but you know what I'm
Lesson,
saying?
yeah,
Like
it's-
the soreness from
Yeah.
playing. I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it. So for me, I think it was super tough to kind of get over the hump of not playing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, my senior year of college, I didn't play the last 5 games. So, as you know, DJ was killed, homecoming, so it was our 5th game, and I didn't play after that. I didn't really have a desire to play at the time. My mind wasn't there. Physically, I couldn't play either. It just wasn't a good situation. So I feel like that's why I feel like there's something left on the field because I didn't get to finish out my season. On top of not being intentional with every rep, like how I am now, with reps, this rep of life that I am. But I think I knew that, to me, football was definitely a tool, but I didn't think I was going to play in the NFL. So I started preparing myself for what's after this. I know I want to own a business. I didn't know what. I thought for years it was going to be a a sports bar. So I started preparing my mind for what's next. So it was a shock to the extent that I wasn't playing football anymore, but at the same time, I knew what time it was.
Yep.
So when we then decided to start trying to play football again, I did that because I didn't want to go throughout life saying, what if? Like, oh, you didn't try. What if you? And I think that needed to happen for me to move on and do what we're doing now.
For a reason.
Yeah.
So when we all started training and going to these combines and these tryouts and all that, needed to see it, needed it to happen, and I'm happy we did it.
Had to go through that.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, we all came together to do that together, but we all got here different ways. And I would say there's definitely some depression when you realize it's not happening no more. Like, you're done with football. Like, you can play semi-pro and all that, but it's not the same as playing with your your teammates. So I think that definitely was a part. But like I said, I was preparing myself for it, so it took a little bit of that burn off of it.
Yeah,
like
but
you said, having it get cut short when you know you got more in the tank is very hard.
yeah. So like, how did you feel, right? I mean, at that moment, with such a traumatic thing happening at that moment,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you not knowing that your season was gonna be cut short, or no longer playing. Like, what did you feel like? Was football still on your mind, and you being and you going through something traumatic, or was it like kind of like you put it on the back burner and you focused on what was currently happening?
Yeah, football wasn't even thought. I was to the point where I was barely even talking.
Right.
Wasn't even talking. I was at home with my parents. I barely would talk. I wouldn't even watch TV. I would just legit be in bed, looking at the wall, staring at the wall. So football was the least on my mind possible. Then it got a little time passed, couple months, and then I got to finish school. That was my thought. Like, I can't stay out of school so long where they're gonna say this semester don't count. So I was like, all right, I got to get back to school and finish school because I had that to finish that semester and then one more.
Last semester.
Yeah. So that was my mindset. School, I got to finish school. So football wasn't even a thought for obvious reasons.
So you almost had to not fall in love with it, but you had to kind of reignite yourself to be excited about football again.
So after that, when I came back home, we would go to Blue Streak and I'll see Vlad getting ready. You were still getting ready.
Yeah.
You were trying out. I'm like,
I gotta do
dudes,
something.
all these dudes just trying. I got to try with them. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So that's what got me going again.
Yeah, that
goes back to your circle too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a moment of time for us, yo.
That was some good times.
If you really go back, right, and think about it, all that stuff we were doing during those training, you were doing more with Vlad and you and I were more together, but it was like, getting the excitement again, having your feet kind of like tingle and your calves are starting to like cramp up a little bit. That's what made it fun for me again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was pretty much hurt. I had patellar tendonitis all 4 years. And if you played back in the day, early 2000s, on that AstroTurf,
you got something.
You had something.
Knees are hurt.
So like,
it's crazy.
yeah, I was feeling probably 90% at that moment.
And also, if you look back at those times where we were training, that was like the beginning of us getting into this, what we're doing now. Like, we started learning stuff.
That's when we started.
It was enjoyable.
Realizing that without even knowing it, this was another avenue for us outside of football that kept us in football, but we're out of it. So that, I think that, like, again, that all happened for a reason.
And it led us into our next career. Ross and Alex had a particular career we never touched on. What did you guys do for a few years?
So we'll touch on that later in other episodes.
No, we already put it off before. This time to talk about it. Get it off your chest. So
Get it
since
off.
they don't
Get it
want to
off.
tell you,
Get it off.
Chest.
What?
It
Get it
sounds
off.
like you
So-
want to get off your chest.
because I was part-time too. I'm like,
Go ahead. It sounds like Des want to get
all
off his
right,
chest.
so after college, aside from training, these two dudes were bouncers at a local bar downtown Stanford. The reason I say part-time is because my two best friends work at a bar on Saturday nights. What do you think I'm gonna do? I used to pop up,
Down there.
Bar.
right? And people used to think I used to be working too. I didn't work, but it was comedy just being with these dudes, being around drunk people. It was a fun
Oh
time.
my goodness.
Yeah, it was
People-
definitely a good
It was a
time.
good
People
time.
get brave
bro.
when there's alcohol involved. We'll just leave it at that.
But how was that transition from? I mean, think about it. Like it could be, you could be sad about it, or you could just embrace it. Like if we look at, we were like, yo, all right, we went to college, and we played football. Now I'm a bouncer. Like,
Yeah. So my biggest thing was that, like I said before, coming from that and having the mentality of like accomplishing something and feeling good about it. I had a job, right? I had a job, and like with certain networks and stuff like that, I was able to get this job in Norwalk. But it just wasn't it. I'm sitting at a desk. I promise y'all, I got hired. I did less than an hour. I don't think y'all not listening to me. Less than an hour.
But he did.
I got into the job, suit, tie, everything, right? I sat down.
living the American dream.
Yo,
huh?
I sat down.
That shit hurts.
I said, this is not it.
That shit hurts.
I got up.
That shit
They
hurts.
ain't never
Yo,
seen you
I
since.
got up and he was calling me. I was supposed to drive up with my partner in the office to I don't know,
Ross
like
said-
somewhere.
They looking for Ross
Ross
right now.
still- they still-
Somewhere.
right
We
now.
were supposed to go somewhere. Man, I said,
Seen Ross
man.
Bertrand.
Yeah, I said, yo, it's over. I said, it's over.
That boy
I'm not
Yo,
coming
it's
back.
over,
yo.
yo.
I'm not coming back.
gone.
And I remember going home to Yoli. I said, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
He
it.
didn't even give it a full day, yo.
Yeah, less than an hour.
Some people say, yo, 3 months and I'll make my decision.
less
This
than
dude-
an
Less
hour.
than an hour.
I knew it wasn't it, yo. I knew it wasn't
I don't
it.
know what's worse, that or his the packing joint.
Oh,
Facts.
nah, it was bad, yo.
Yo, less than an hour.
It was bad.
I said, it's over. So when I got home, I spoke to Yoli and I was like, come on, I gotta help out some way. So when the bouncing thing came along, we were still working at Blue Streak too, though. So we were doing that
That was
training
just
on
the-
Yeah.
something
training
to do
on the side, but it just wasn't enough. So then we started doing the bouncing thing. For me, I thought it was fun because we were active.
Yeah, you
We
know,
just
like,
weren't,
we were social.
drinking. We're out. Technically,
Yeah, we
were
were
working.
out.
and it wasn't on some you can't do this. We stayed in the bar, so we dealt with people.
Yeah.
And then when it got
got to
late,
know a
we
lot of
knew,
people,
Yeah,
too.
we got a lot of connections out of it, but at the same time, we had to turn up on some folks
Yeah, but
towards the end of the night.
Before you get into turning up, which is the real reason I wanted to bring it up.
let's not talk about that.
But what you said about, yo, I had to contribute and I wanted a job, a lot of people don't see it like that.
Yeah.
They see it as, man, I'm too good to work that job.
Nah.
Can't
So
do
you,
that.
By any means, like I was willing to do anything that made me somewhat happy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, the other job, I just wasn't happy.
Yep.
So I was okay with working. I mean, after a while, we ended up not doing it anymore. But I felt like in that particular space, I could be social
Yep.
and still enjoy it. You know
and
what
it
I mean?
was a weekend gig, so you got to do something
Yeah.
else at the same time.
You see what I mean? So it was cool enough for me to be able to do it and learn from that experience. Plus, I met a lot of people that now when I go downtown,
You just say hello.
You
Yep.
just say
got a
hello,
lot of
you keep it
connections off of
pushing.
that. My transition, I think it hit me hard because my senior year we made it to our first bowl game in 40 years at Temple or 30 years, whatever it was. We played UCLA, and it was the seniors, but it was the collective team that was something I was like again, Ross, you saying it. I didn't think I was going to be emotional at all, but once we left the field and we could have beat UCLA at that,
Mhm.
and realizing like this team will never be this team again.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the locker room taking off my clothes and I'm just like, damn. And I just looked at dudes' faces and I was pissed that we lost, but also pissed that we lost like this after doing what we did this for 4 years. So that was rough. And then, you see dudes that they showed emotion, but this type of emotion was different because we've been through a lot of shit at Temple.
Together.
From being in Philly, ending practice with a shootout outside of the facility, to folks walking past talking about they're gonna throw bricks at us or shoot us up because they placed a bet on us. Like, it's funny now, but at the time it's like, damn. But then from that to then seeing people like walk up and be like, yo, like hood dudes come by and be like, yo, we respect y'all. And it's like, damn. Yeah. These dudes came from they want to shoot us up, to now they respect us. So
you saw the full transition.
It was just crazy. And now looking at what Temple the past few years, like now they got work to do. But
you built right. So you placed many bricks so that now that they can have a roof.
It's a completely different school. We drove through the campus and just seeing what that shit look like now is
crazy.
Insane. Yeah. That's not even close to what I left it at. So, that was tough. And then, going to play, being fortunate enough to play at the next level, that when I got cut from there, I didn't think I was done. I thought I would keep playing, and I ended up doing arena ball after Canada. And when I did the full rupture, that is when I hit depression. Mm-hmm. Which, many people don't know that, but I stayed in a room, I was drinking, you're gonna probably pull up the picture, but I gained mad weight, but I hit a wall.
280.
That boy came in.
People don't know, I was in a very dark place where it was bad.
And he had a mohawk.
Yeah, I had a mohawk.
That joke was wild.
Wicked.
But it was
that
bad.
Was the most
he was
wicked
drinking
thing
and the mohawk wasn't being touched.
At the same time?
Yeah,
it was rough, but I think it hit me hard to the point where I didn't know who the fuck I was. I didn't want to talk to people. Because people don't realize when you're a football player and you take it that serious, that's all you know. So when that shit is gone, and like Dez, I was telling Dez, you got more in the tank, but you can't do it anymore.
Can't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. That ate at me for so long, and everyone's like, "You made it though." I'm like, "You have no idea what making it means to me.
Yeah.
To you want a pat on the back saying I made the NFL. That don't mean shit to me. Yeah. Like every level of football that I played, I was, I made it to an all-star level. I was deemed some of the best, right? Mm-hmm. The NFL, just making the NFL to this day has never been
not good enough.
I don't care what anybody says. 0.0 whatever, make it to the NFL, 0.1 whatever it is.
Don't matter.
That doesn't matter to me personally. So for me, your standard isn't close to mine. I'm never going to compare myself to someone else because I've never been in that person's shoes. But what I had to deal with, it was tough. And to the point sometimes I still deal with it now. I didn't watch football for 5 years. I made sure I didn't watch football.
We couldn't get this dude to a game. We couldn't do nothing.
You tried to close it, right?
But it wasn't really closed.
Yeah, because that's kind of the same thing I did with not going down there and helping my teammates. Yeah. It was like, because there's certain things that you would see, and I know this because we played sports. There's things that the reason you did that was because you would probably look at it and be like, that was me, I would have made that play. Yep. Right, well, and it's like you get anxious when you're a playmaker. Though that's what happens. Yeah, right. You get like anxious. You want to go out there and you want to do it.
You insert yourself. It don't matter what level.
It don't matter
what level you watch. I could be watching middle school. I'm like, man, if I was playing,
I'm going off.
I would get mad as fuck when I see kids just. It's simple.
And this stuff you teach too. That's what makes it worse.
And it's even worse because I try to teach kids, coaches, nothing against some of these coaches now, they're doing what they can. But at the same time, these coaches don't even know what they're doing at times. They're not really showing these kids what's going to help set them up for success. And that irks me.
So
then for me, this is why I love what I'm doing here, because then I can individualize who I'm working with, tell them what they need to work on. They do it on their own. They want some more, insight. That's where I come in a little bit more. And we can work on that stuff. But these coaches aren't doing that, so that would bother me. So to watch the game of football, I couldn't do it. Like I literally was fighting the battle, fighting a demon like that wanted to, not even deal with the sport. And then I was like, what am I gonna do? So I had to talk to a therapist for X amount of years and talk to my brother. And again, shout out to Mitch and Meg because I talked to them about everything.
Mitch is your therapist.
And, financial advisor, therapist.
Everything.
Yeah.
Life coach.
Shout out to Paper. But yeah, it was tough. I feel like most people don't understand that side of football players. Not even athletes. But when it comes to football, if you start at I started in 2nd grade.
Right.
So 2nd grade to playing 2 seasons in the NFL, 1 season in Canada, and then 1 arena ball. So that's a lot of fucking football.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I think, look at us and think that because we play such a physical and demanding sport, that we're supposed to just be done with it. We're not supposed to have no emotions, right? Like when we're done with it, we're just like, all right, yeah, you play football, okay, it's done. But it's hard.
But not even no emotions. We learn to suppress our emotions.
Exactly.
That's one thing my therapist always told me is, he's like, you got to stop suppressing your emotions. It's not helping nobody else. It's actually killing you.
Yeah, but for
19
years,
that's all I've been doing is don't show that I'm hurting. Move on.
There's levels to what we talking about.
Yeah.
That's a whole different episode.
But that's a whole nother episode. But I feel like
suppressing emotions.
That's childhood and then sports, but people don't realize that side. So I always like to laugh and be a goofball because I started to realize my sports psych therapist told me there's 2 variables. There's life situations. One's constant and one goes up and down, right? Mm-hmm. Once you start to realize that life is constant and life situations can go up and down, once you could break that down, then you'll start realizing it's okay. Mm. And it took me to realize that, to be like, all right, it's much better for me. But, I realized, okay, some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad. Just like some plays I'm going to make, some plays I'm not. But at the end of the day, I walked off the field with 2 legs. I didn't need help. I'm not in the hospital. So once I realized that stuff, off the football field, it got a little bit better. But, there's still times where I'm like, this shit sucks because no one understands what you've been through unless they've been through it too. So
and
you can have
your teammates.
Yep. You can have a spouse. You can have a best friend. You can have, someone who you confide to, whoever. But at the same time, if they haven't been through that shit that you've been through, they will never understand.
Yeah.
You could talk to them all you want. That's why I kind of had to stop talking to my therapist. He hit me with some insight stuff that have worked, but it wasn't. He never understood. So for me, I took what he taught me, did what I had to do to kind of make it work for me. But at the same time, I talked to my wife about things, but she still won't understand.
There's therapists can carry it so far. Then there's somebody else you gotta talk to.
Him.
That's God, boy.
God. You gotta have that. You gotta have that conversation, and that. Speaking to him is what helped me get out that dark place I was in when I was drinking and I hated everything about football, everyone. People were annoying me. I was just reckless mentally. So, I feel like if you get into that dark space, there's always somebody to talk to. But at the same time, you gotta physically and mentally talk to him up there.
Seek God, though.
That's number 1. First and foremost, talk to him. Because he knows best. God. No therapist.
Jesus, by the way. If
no medication.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Seek Jesus, man.
Jesus.
Facts. Man.
But I think we've taken the abrupt end, the gradual end for you, and then I think mine was a little different because I didn't realize really this was my last game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You had
it hit later on.
Yeah. But we got 3 different forms.
3 different ways, yo. But it all came to an end. Now it gives us joy
And
giving back and seeing other people make it and pass us.
yep.
We got dudes getting offers now. We got dudes playing professionally, and we wear the shirts. We wear the hoodies. That makes us proud. We walk around. We feel like we're a part of
Yeah.
their success, which is that's where we get our happiness now.
And that's the ultimate goal.
We can still put them cleats on though.
That's a fact.
Still,
Don't get it fucked up.
Don't get it messed up. I'll route you up, and I'll play defense too.
I don't care what level of sports you play.
They get it twisted like they.
It's not just the football field too.
Any sport except for swimming.
I'm proud of you.
Come on, I'll beat you to it because I see it.
That boy got married and started getting real with himself.
Yeah.
You swimming 10 yards or you swimming?
Hey, we're
I
not
can get
swimming,
10
yo.
yards.
Okay.
We're not swimming.
But yeah,
We gotta
man.
fix that. Any swim instructors out there, please help my boys. Please.
Oh, come on, yo.
We got to make this happen. 2024, y'all
With
better
that-
know how to swim.
Mr. Hines.
Hey, Mr. Bertrand, Mr. Joseph, enough.
Enough.
We signing out.
40-40 Club.
40.
Top shelf.
Paid.
Xenhouse, yeah. Xenhouse, yeah.